Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends, to another episode. I'm Donna, and today I am here with the talented Miss Erin Duvall. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me again. It's good to see you.
Absolutely. We always love to catch up. And, as I say, we need to do this more often because I do like to catch up. It's like making an additional family and friends. That's exactly how I feel.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, good to see you.
Okay. So for maybe our first time listeners, would you like to tell them a little bit of who is Erin Duvall?
Yeah. So Erin Duvall, she wears many hats on a daily basis. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm also an entrepreneur, and I'm a single mother of 4 children. So I do a lot of things, and I wear a lot of different hats every single day, but it works for me. It may not work for everybody, but it's kind of what makes me tick, and it makes me who I am.
I couldn't imagine you any other way, honestly. Maybe that's because I've met you, but I know you a little, but
Yeah. It works. It's kind of like I thrive in the chaos. Some people don't do well with that, but I'm like, I get more done when I have so much on my plate. And then if I'm gonna vacay, I'm gonna like straight up vacay. So yeah, that's just who I am as a person in a nutshell. I like to wear many hats. It's probably, ADD but it's my superpower and it works for me. And yeah, so that's why I'm here now.
Wonderful. So I know since the last time we talked, you had your full length album released one by one. Tell me a little bit about what the project meant to you.
Oh, this project was so incredibly special. So this project was really my re-entrance back into the music industry. I had taken kind of a therapeutic pause to write and have my kids and kind of analyze my life. And I did go through a divorce. It's no secret. It's all over the internet. But I went through a divorce and it was a really tough period of my life. And so when I went into the album, when I wrote this album, it was all really therapeutic. And my producers would say, they could see me healing as I wrote each song. It was a very cathartic process. And this album was the reason I titled it One by One is because all of the relationships in my life, whether it was my children, my friends, my relationship with my family, my relationship with myself, all of those healed me one by one. And the actual like true story behind the song One by One is when I moved home and I was going through my divorce, someone once told me that my breakers had been shut off as a coping mechanism because I couldn't feel, right? And I thought that that was such a unique way and vision of what I truly was going through at the time. And I loved that. And for whatever reason, it stuck with me through the divorce process. And then I started noticing as I began to heal that those breakers started turning them back on one by one, slowly and in the perfect timing. But then I became fully whole again. And yeah, there's still some things that are like some smaller breakers that are still turning on as I continue to evolve and grow and have a better relationship with myself and my friends and my children and so on and so forth. But yeah, one by one, they all came back on. And so this whole album is really about that story. And each song you can tell is about one of those relationships.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask the first question, and I love all the songs, mind you, but now I know Glass House seems to be a very popular one. So I just noticed that like on play ranking, you see those plays. So in your words, do you feel like that would have been the most popular off this album, or do you think something else would have been?
I probably would have said that Walking Country song, though I will say Walking Country song did have a lot of airplay and did well. Yes, though Glass House was always really special to me. There's a lot of piano in Glass House, and I love piano. I think that the way that even when we wrote that song, I just loved the groove of it so much. And it's kind of one of those songs, it's like smiling but saying to you, it's like the Southern way of saying bless your heart a little bit. And I
My
love that
favorite
song.
saying.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, we use it a lot. Um, in fact, I just wrote a new song called What You Deserve, and it's there's a whole thing around it that says bless your heart, which is really funny. But um yeah, so Glass House is just I love that song so much because I think the one thing that I realized in my own divorce, people love car crashes and people love like bad things and they love to stop and they love to watch. And I just always would be like, listen, it's not that exciting. And go ahead and talk about it all you want. But I assure you, something else is going to happen in a couple days. It's going to be more of a car crash scene there, you know. And I just was like, okay, you're sitting here talking, excuse my French, but shit. And your own personal life, maybe not so sticky. And, you know, like it's sticky and dirty too, right? So I just think if I've learned anything in my entire life, it's like you really shouldn't judge anybody unless you've physically walked in their shoes and gone through an exact, you know, resemblance of what they're going through at that time.
Mhm.
Otherwise, man, it's just, you know, just be understanding and have grace and lend a hand, be a light. Because if you haven't gone through something tough yet, your time's coming, you know? So, but yeah, Glass House was really fun. It was just kind of a cheeky, um, approach to my own pain, I guess, you know?
And Block and Country, that's a great one too. But I will say Girls Weekend. I think we all need Girls Weekend, don't we?
Yeah, that song was written for my seven best friends. There's a group of girls that we travel with every year, and we're all went to the same University of Texas in Austin, and we've all remained friends since college, and it's just fun. Like when we get together, even if we don't get to see each other, but twice a year or whatever, it's like no time's passed. And so that song, they really were there so much for me. And those girls' weekends helped heal me so much. And so I was like, I got to write a song for you girls. This is for you, you know. And that song's been that was a really fun one to do.
It is. It's a really fun one to listen to as well.
Thanks.
So, but are there any off the album that you would say that this one's my baby right now? This is like my favorite today, and not obviously tomorrow. We go this route of saying this is my favorite, but I mean, in this moment, in this spotlight.
Um, they're all really special to me. I will say, Love Like Yours, which is a song I wrote for my parents. I wrote it for their 50th wedding anniversary. I got to perform it in front of there were maybe like 100 people or something that came to a little party that we had done, and it was really a special moment. And I think, you know, having gone through my divorce and getting to watch them, their love is so incredibly special and they choose each other every single day. And so Love Like Yours is really special to me because it means so much, not only to me, but to my children and to my parents. So that one's really special. And then the one I wrote for my kids, So To Be Here, about being a really present parent and through every phase of your life with your kids. Because you go through so many different tunnels. It's kind of like someone said to me, they had like 5-year-old twins. You know, my twins are almost 7. They're like, oh, I'm almost seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm like, what tunnel, girlfriend? You just moved to a new one. And it's true though, because like, you know, it's like, okay, you're not physically feeding them anymore. You're not physically getting them dressed anymore, but then their problems get bigger and your worries they're different, but they're still
Yeah.
big. And so I love that song so much because it's like, no matter what we're going through in that moment in time, I'll always be here. And I think being a present parent and knowing those ins and outs and those little idiosyncrasies of your children are so important to their development, but also to mine as a parent. I mean, I'm learning so much about myself as I raise them. And so that song's really special to me.
That's a
But
great
I
song. And
can
I love how you,
all the reasons they're all special.
yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And that's, you know, when it comes from your heart and that kind of thing, and any kind of music, any kind of creativity things, it's just, I think it brings such a more intensity to the song itself and the creation, the art, whatever, you know. It's just, there's something about it sometimes when you really take it more personal than just writing about, oh, well, I had this really great idea of this story. Not saying it's
Right.
not as good, but sometimes it's more personable, more relatable, and just makes you
I
all feel
like
warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, and I like to pull from my own experiences because I find that I you perform them more authentically. And I think that they feel more meaningful. I'm not saying I haven't written stuff that's not, directly related to me, because I have, but the ones that are the most special are tied to something that I've gone through. I will say that when I wrote Wings, that built my wings on the way down. I will never forget, that was a moment where I came in and sat down in front of my producer and I sang just even like maybe the first stanza of the whole thing, the first verse. And my producer, Terry Baker, like stopped dead in his tracks and was like, okay, this is real, and like he felt so touched just by it that I knew, okay, I'm on the right track with what I'm doing. And he could feel like the pain, but yet the growth. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I could say a special reason for each song, but the one about my kids is probably one of my favorites.
And they're genuinely relatable. That's
Right.
yeah. I did like your expression. It's a new tunnel. I'm like, I'm gonna have to use that now. And every time I see an issue or a problem, I usually say, look, this one's not my circus. That is yours. This one here is my 3-ring big top mess, and I'll take it. And so that's been my usual, or the rodeo one. Like my rodeo, not my clown, because there's a clown at the rodeo
not my circus, not my monkey.
Yeah. So I love those little expressions, but I do like the tunnel expression. That was great. I am gonna have to borrow that, and I'll have to quote it, be like, yeah.
It's true though, because it's like, okay, you think you're getting through it, and then you're like, nope, I'm just entering a new one,
Yes.
So,
yes.
And maybe it's a little bit bigger, and maybe it's a little bit more light, but it's still tunnel.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it feeds back to the only constant in life is change. So
exactly right.
yeah.
And I will say, as a child, I didn't do very well with change. And I think in some ways I was forced to go through so much stuff to understand that change is just inevitable. And you've got to be able to kind of mold and move and change. If you allow it to let you grow and evolve, it can be a really beautiful thing.
Absolutely. So I wanted to mention though, also Twice the Love Foundation, you had the second annual concert in February. You want to tell us a little bit about that, or the listeners that may not have?
Yeah, so Twice the Love Foundation's my foundation. We raise money for single parents, both men and women alike, who are, whether they're dealing with divorce, death, or they have chosen to be a single parent. There's a lot that comes with being a single parent, and it takes a village to raise your children when you're alone. And so we raise money for more well-established charities. And right now we're based in Dallas, so that's where our main focus is, but we're looking at expanding to Nashville maybe next, and possibly some other cities. Can't really talk about it. But we benefit a great charity here in Dallas called the Genesis Women's Shelter. And that shelter benefits women, sadly, that are going through domestic abuse, and they are leaving a very tumultuous relationship. And so they become single moms overnight by leaving these situations. And so it provides them shelter and care for battered women and children. So we love Genesis. They are fabulous. What they do is incredible. So this was our second year to work with them. We also work with the AT&T Performing Arts Center in Dallas, which is amazing. We have, I think it's the third biggest arts district in the country here in Dallas, which is awesome. So we love working with them. And yeah, it was called Erin Duvall and Friends. It was Twice the Love. It was Twice the Heart because it was the day before Valentine's Day. And we had all these different performers come and join us. So we had some students from South Grand Prairie High School came and sang. They did Seasons of Love with us from Rent. A really dear friend of mine named Chris Martinez. He's an incredible acoustic guitar player out of Austin. Fun fact, his cousin is Manny from Modern Family. And we did Endless Love. And then there's a really amazing B3 organ player from Atlanta named Jaden Arnold. And he's super famous in the gospel world. And he came and he played the entire night with us. And then I have a really incredible band, a very eclectic band, but they're all so recognized on their own, which is really neat. And so it just made for a very, very special night. But yeah, we raised a lot of money for them, and it always feels good. And we're already talking about year 3 and expanding to other cities. So stay tuned.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
let me know if there's anything I can do to help, by the way.
I will, for sure.
Would you like to do our 13 crazy questions now?
Oh, this is my favorite part. Yes.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Well, I'm pretty sure I didn't ask you these questions because, we have to have some new ones. We can't have the same ones. You'll be like, I expected that,
I think you said where was I burying somebody last time? So did you ask me
Yes.
that?
I'm
Oh,
not going to ask you if you're going to bury someone this time. No, no, no. It's a little different.
okay.
Still some similar, but a little different. A little less chances of getting arrested this time. It's usually the first time I bring everyone in well.
I know. I was like, man, I sound like a criminal right now. I'm not. I'm very squeaky.
Well, then I was kind of like, what podcast is this really?
Well, you said crazy, it's in there. So, and women,
Absolutely.
don't scorn a woman. We'll come for you.
Exactly. I'm telling you, the ID channel has it right. Wives with knives. What are those other? Yeah. I think we talked about that before too, right? I think they have just such clever show names like that,
That's right. I mean,
I
Kelsey Ballerini, you go down, I'm going down too. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we just have to create all these. I just want to be the person that helps create those names and those song titles. That's it. Like, just pay me for that and I'll be happy to do that all day long.
It's not one word, 1/3. You be just ting, ting, ting.
Yep. Oh, so tell me, what is the best excuse you've ever given for being late?
Ooh. That is a really good question. The best excuse I've ever given. I mean, I blame it on my kids a lot. Not a very good excuse. Probably that my dog was eating something and I had to clean up his mess, but that's probably true.
True.
He's a 1-year-old puppy. He eats everything. I'm not sure I have really good excuses, but I come up with a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's the artist in me. I'm sorry.
Well, if you had a pet parrot, what would you teach it to say?
You don't want to know what just came to my mind.
It is not PG rated
my mind was shut the up, but probably shouldn't teach the parrot that. I probably would teach it Polly want a cracker. Yeah, it would probably start repeating stuff my kids say, which would be not great either. So, but Polly want a cracker, which would be really annoying. But I personally would think it was funny. I don't know. That's my childish mind, I guess.
Nothing wrong with that. That's perfect.
But I don't like birds. Sorry, so
no birds. Never happened. Okay.
I had parrots when I was a baby, and pretty sure they ate each other. Attacked
each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we connected their pages. That was really not.
Okay. So no birds for you. Got it.
No.
In your household, should the toilet paper go over or under?
Oh, that's easy. Over. And I get so mad at my kids when they accidentally put it on the wrong way. Over, I mean, under just doesn't make sense. Okay. Like it's meant to be pretty. You're supposed to when you put it on there, you got to maybe make a little triangle on the top. You do not, under's wrong. Sorry if you say under. You're wrong.
We can't be friends if you do under.
I worked for Ralph Lauren. He would say over. I'm sorry. No. Over.
If you could have a lifetime supply of anything, what would it be?
Ooh. Of anything?
Anything.
But what am I neglecting? Is there something I don't currently have now?
I don't think so. I mean, if it was just like a free lifetime supply of, I'd probably go with Diet Mountain Dew because, that's like that one thing that's always on my desk besides water. So
I would say a lifetime supply of creative ideas.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, because I would be really sad if I woke up one day and I didn't hear sounds the way I hear them, or constantly think of new books to write or new songs to write. I'd be really, really sad. So I would hope to always have creative ideas.
Love it. So do you believe in aliens and UFOs?
I'm TBD. I mean, I think
unicorns?
No. I mean, I wish.
No, be so unicorns. Unicorns are real. Don't
my daughters
tell me they're not.
They're so real. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
I think that there's a lot of evidence that they seem real. I just don't want to think about them
Being
bothering
real.
me. If you're a real man, you do you. Just don't come near me. Unless you're like ET and we can be friends, then we cool. But otherwise, nah. I don't know. I'm gonna go with TBD.
Okay. If you were elected ruler of the world, who would you want your top advisor to be?
Oh Lord. My father, because he is a brilliant, um, strong, level-headed man that understands business, but also understands family values and understands diversity. Yeah, I would go with him. I think he has a really good approach to just life in general. He'd be he'd be my man.
Awesome. So, if your life was a reality TV show, what would it be called?
Oh, the chaotic world of Erin Duvall. No, it would be called, I've always said this, if I write an autobiography, it would be called You Can't Make This Shit Up. I think it'd be called that. And
Yeah.
I tell you the amount of people that have approached me about doing reality TV. Lots and lots and lots. And specifically about me and my children and our world and
Mhm.
all the many faces of Erin. They're like, this would be the best TV show ever. And I'm like, good. We're gonna keep our chaos behind that door, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be, yeah, you can't make this shit up. Sorry.
Oh, if you were arrested, what would you be arrested for?
That is a really good question. Probably mouthing off, which I don't do this anymore. But when I was younger, I didn't have much of a filter, and I, have one now. Yay, patience and time. But my younger self would probably have been for mouthing off. Yay. Creative people are not very quiet, okay? But I try and just like stay on the right side of the law. I would
You
not get
know,
into a fight with
I,
a police officer anymore.
I got to tell you, I met this lovely lady. She was in her 90s. She used to, when I worked at the golf place down here in Florida. And you know what? She was a Spitfire at like 90 something. She had like 4 or 5 clubs. She's like, I can carry that. I'm like, no, I'm carrying it for you because I chose to today. Not that you can't carry it. I chose to carry it for you. And she's like,
Oh yeah,
well, okay, then I will let you put it on the golf cart then. Fine.
sure.
Like,
That's
but
true.
she's just a little Spitfire thing. And so,
I
yeah,
get it. I'm fiery.
yep.
The other thing is if somebody like really messed with my kids, like really
Mhm.
messed with my kids,
Yeah. Mama
mama bear,
bear.
mama bear baby come breaking out of that. So maybe for that, but just don't mess with my kids. Just be good people. Mess
Good
with me
people.
all you want, but you mess with my kids is game over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell us something strange in your fridge.
Ooh, strange in my fridge. Oh, my kids love honey butter from Whataburger. So that's not normal unless you're from Texas. So we have a squeezable jar of honey from Whataburger. Most just that's that or ginger. I have a lot of ginger in there. I like a lot of pickles. So there's like okra pickles in there and regular pickles. I'm a salty person, okay? But yeah, that's probably the weirdest things. I'm pretty healthy though, so I don't not anything too strange, I guess.
Unless that
I
was a
go with
science project on purpose.
yeah, well, my son did make a clay project recently, and I went to walk the dog for, I kid you not, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. So it was not gone very long. And I came back and he had poured so much water into the clay and was patting it. And I came in and every 10 feet, all the way around him, like in a circle, was clay, like in a circular motion in my kitchen. It was great. We're talking windows, walls, cabinets, chairs. Yeah. Like I said, you can't make this shit up.
Nope, you can. Definitely not.
No.
And in 15 minutes. Oh,
It's impressive.
it is. It is. Yes. I think we need to get that from your kid and just be like, yep, this is how you do it. Everyone, this is how you make a mess for your parents. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I should have filmed it or like, like time lapsed it. Yeah, it would have been great.
Tell us one thing on your bucket list.
One thing on my bucket list is to, I really want to go to Australia. I love to travel. I used to live in London for school. I studied abroad when I was in college. On my bucket list is to take my kids over there to see London. So those are kind of, yeah, it would be travel things. Oh, and another thing on my bucket list to debut at the Opry. That's major on my bucket list. So,
all right. Well, call me in advance so I can get tickets. I want to be there.
for sure, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
Like, yeah, did you hear that, team? No, just kidding.
Yeah. We're making it happen.
Yeah, those are a few things, but my bucket list is long, so just give you the highlights.
That's a good thing though. That means like there's things you have goals, you have ambitions, things you want to do, not just live and exist. Like I don't know. People wonder, like worry me when they don't have anything. Like they're like, oh, I just go home, watch TV, and chill out. Like I'm like, okay, any aspirations? Any?
Yeah,
okay, maybe not.
I don't better myself
sorry.
every day, or I don't feel like I've made some progress forward. Now, I'm not saying I don't have days where I felt like I went backwards, but I get like, I don't want to say stressed out, but if I don't like feel like I've had a really committed day, for my brain, for my body, for my work, like all the different things, then I don't feel like I've had a complete day. And so I don't know, maybe I'm more go-getter than some, but like that, it drives me every single day to push forward and leave something better behind for my kids. So
absolutely,
I like to work. What can I say?
I get it. I get it. And I also get the okay, like chilling out for a day and not doing anything. Like I get that. Like, but
yeah, sometimes you got to pause, and that's like the mental break, right? And the physical break your body needs. But that's just to kind of gear you up to be able to go again.
Do something. Yeah, that's how I look at it. Yeah.
Me too.
I have people tell me my brain never shuts off and I should calm down a little. I'm like, what? I'm like, there's all this awesome stuff to do in the world and life. And
I know. Mine never shuts off. I write songs in my sleep. Literally. I'll wake up at 2. I think I may have told you this, and roll over and record like a melody into my phone. And then I'll send it to my producers. He's like, girl, can you re-record that in the morning? Because this is, you're half asleep. And I'm like, I know, but the idea is there. You got to listen, It's really great. It never shuts off. But like I said, I want an endless supply of creativity. So
absolutely. So tell us, what's one good place to go grab some food in Dallas?
Oh, I think everybody, if they've never been, should go to Mi Casina in Dallas. There's a couple different locations, but the one in the heart of Dallas by SMU University in a place called Holland Park Village is your go-to spot. It's got a great bar on the top floor, but we have these things called Mambo taxis. You can only have 2 because 3, no. But they're the best, and the food's great, and it's kind of a staple in Dallas. It's just like where you go after football games or after a long day of sports with your kids, or you want to go have dinner with friends. It's just kind of a classic spot, and it'll hit the spot for that Tex-Mex that you're looking for.
Beautiful. I'm glad. So now when next time in the area, I have to make sure I check it out.
Well, I'll give you an entire laundry list. My other place would be Les Bilboquet, but Les Bilboquet is a much fancier, it's like a French restaurant. It originated in Dallas. I mean, it originated in New York, and then they brought it to Dallas. Oh God, it's been over 10 years ago, but it's fabulous. But that's like when you want to get dressed up and go out and have like a real, she night.
Yeah.
You can show up in workout clothes at Mi Casino and you're going to be just fine.
Awesome.
So, both sides of the coin.
I promise to hit you up when I'm doing some traveling, and I'm like, if I need places to go, I will absolutely do that.
I got you.
I always like to know good places to go and check out.
Born and raised here. I know all the spots. I got you.
Okay, so last but not least question.
Uh-oh, I'm nervous.
No, actually, it's a good one. If you owned a bar, what would you call it?
Never say never.
Love it.
I call it
Good
never
name for a
say never.
bar.
Yeah, kind of is,
Mhm.
It's like you go in thinking you're gonna never do this, and then you have too many drinks, and guess what? You do it. So
Yeah.
I'm never gonna kiss that guy. Guess what you
Mm,
did? Or I'm
yep.
never gonna do that business, and then you get a lot of creativity juice. Yeah, I'd say never. I think that's kind of a yeah,
It's good.
it makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
Oh, so what else is coming up for the rest of this year? Um,
Oh, there's so much coming up. So, like I said, we're working on solidifying year 3 for the foundation event. And then we're currently working on some dates to start playing out a lot more. We've just been so busy getting the foundation event up and running. And obviously, there's only so much Erin to go around. So we're going to play a lot more. And then, yeah, I've got my other little project that we've talked about before that I've got a lot going on behind closed doors on that. And it's definitely keeping me super busy. And yeah, we're really excited. Is it 2024? Yeah,
it is
2024.
2024. Thank God.
What year is it?
What year?
2024 it's going to be a big year and we're excited about it. And I'm already starting to write a bunch of new material. In fact, we debuted 3 new songs at the foundation event that haven't even been tracked yet. So, and got a lot of positive feedback on those. So we'll probably, get those tracked and maybe even release an EP. We're kind of just, toying around with all that. There's 4 that we've written so far, but we only debuted 3 of them. So, um, yeah, I kind of like the shorter situation now, I mean, I love a full-length album and One by One made sense with the
Mhm.
amount of songs that we had on it because it was such a body of work that needed to be released as one.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. You see more people doing EPs all the time and it's a very single heavy world right now. Yeah, so I'm
Yes.
excited. We're kind of exploring lots of different options and we'll definitely keep you posted.
Wonderful. I'll look forward to it. And yeah, you're right. I mean, the whole world is going more towards singles and EPs and things like that. And I think it's just because creativity is flowing and people just are like, well, I don't want to hold this for like years and years. Like typical industry used to be, they'd write it, it'd be like 5, 10 years later, like, oh yeah, I want to record that now. And I mean, today, even with technology, as we were talking before, AI, things like that, before we got going here, it's just amazing to see the changes in the world in general and how fast things are going and coming out, and it's amazing. It's really a quick paced world in this day and age anymore. You
It
have to
really
really
is.
take that vacation to chill a minute, sometimes. And
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah, because it does. It moves at such a rapid rate. And we actually set on One by One for for a hot moment, it felt like. So it's nice to kind of let the juices flow and to release them as they come through versus like, I'm going to hold this. So that's kind of what we're focused on a little bit more right now is just like constantly being creative, constantly writing with new people and pushing ourselves to
awesome.
get better every day. I mean, I do try and write every single day because I just feel like, I mean, you got to continue to hone your craft. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, lots coming up, but I'll keep you posted.
Awesome. It's been so good talking with you, Erin. And you are welcome back anytime, as I've said before.
Thank
We need to make
you.
this like every couple of weeks. So we can do that too.
Love it. Come on. You're gonna have to come up with more questions.
Oh, don't worry. I have a whole book of questions. I'll just go back and be like, okay, so what's your favorite movie line? There you go. There's one. Yeah, see?
Ooh,
We'll have to.
probably Sweet Home Alabama
Ooh, good movie too.
or Empire Records.
Mm.
Yeah, those are 2 of my favorite movies.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have this feeling that we and I should just sit down, have a drink or two, and just ask silly questions because it would be too much fun.
It would be so fun. We may have to have someone film it because then they'd say you can't make this shit up. Just
Right?
kidding. For sure.
Oh, all
Thank
right.
you
Well,
so much. I really appreciate your time.
oh, thank you so much. It's been good to talk to you again. And thank you, friends, for joining us. Make sure you go follow Erin and all of her socials. And if you can, go donate to her foundation. Good reason to donate, support, and help others. And just be kind to one another. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.